Welcome everybody, Steve here. Well, it's time to start sanding on this tailgate. I'm going to do the backside first. Probably do as much mechanical sanding as I can. And then we'll take our time and do a little nicer job on the front. You know, this one here I just did 3 coats of primer on here. I didn't fix any of the pinholes. So I got a few pinholes to repair, but we'll figure that out when we get the guide coat on there and get it sanded. So get her on the back side first, and then just gotta, where does the guy start? And how does the guy sand in here? And does the guy really, care that it's, absolutely perfect in here? And the answer to that is no. We're gonna get it good, but it's not gonna be a cut and polished tailgate, that's for sure. I can see a couple things already. That one will sand out. That one will need a little filler. Oh, one guy right there. There's already more work. Okay, I'm gonna get fired up with a sander. Let's get at her. Throw some guide coat on this first. So I'm just filling any little minor imperfections that we got. A couple pinholes here and there. This is a kind of time consuming, so you don't want to mix up a whole bunch of your putty. It'll set up and dry on you, and then you're in big trouble. Gotta go mix some more. Now we're not gonna get this all in one shot here. So this is where those rust pits are. And it's weird. It's only on this spot here on the tailgate. But I'm going to use this the red glazing putty. And I know some of you are probably going to think, oh, you can't be doing that. We used to use this stuff all the time. It's fine. Nice thing about it sands easy. And I'll sand it out and then just give it a bit of a spot prime here. The downfall to this stuff is it takes a long time to dry. And it shrinks a little bit. So I'm just sanding this glaze here with some 150 grit, and I'm really going light. The stuff sands really easy. You don't over sand. And then I'll hit it with some primer, and it'll be perfect. It filled those pits up really nice. And it's way easier to sand. That red glaze. So now we'll just give it a spot with some primer. Well, with all the little minor stuff done, I still got a couple little pinholes to deal with, but give her a little bit of a guide coat and then we'll go to some 320. Might use a little bit of a sander, but I think I'll probably just use the block. It doesn't take very much time at all. Getting inside these letters, bit of a pain, but just go nice and light with your sandpaper and you'll be surprised how quick it goes. I'm just hitting this with 320. I don't want to sand it twice. Last letter. They're kind of a pain, but I'm getting through. Well, it's looking really good. I just got some pinholes to do. Take the lid off here first. And then this back is done. It's not too bad for pinholes, but you know, there's still the odd little spot. I think I could probably work on this another 10 hours and still not get it perfect, but that's alright. Well, we're on the front of the tailgate. We got some sandblasting going on in the background, but the backside looks really good. Let's hope the front side turns out even better. Well, I got the top part sanded up here, but so far so good. Not really seeing anything that's out of sorts that needs to be repaired. But we're not done yet. This should be pretty good. One thing I did notice is the 3 coats of primer that I put on here, that's working out really, really good. Filling everything I seem to need to be, that needs to be filled. Oh, that spot right there, it might be a little bit rough. We'll see what happens here. Just got a couple of real minor little indents, well not dents, but just, you know, deeper scratches. So I'm just going to fill those while they're fresh in my mind so I don't forget them. Yeah, I got some pinholes over here, might as well do them too while I'm at it. So I got the extremities done with 220. Now down in here, of course, I just want to hit it with 320. So it's going to take a little bit longer. But I want to just get a little bit of guide coat on here first before I start sanding the 320 so I don't get any on there after. So far so good. I'm liking it. And I was thinking, it's going like, geez, you know, like this is going to be the last video where you're going to see me sanding for a while. So, you know, hopefully you guys don't leave. But that kind of excites me because I'm kind of getting tired of just going home dirty all the time. So I'm gonna hit this middle stuff. You know, when you get the hard stuff done, it just seems like the day's over. So I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of get started on it and take my time. That always works good if you're getting paid by the hour. Working for my brother, so you can imagine what I'm getting paid. Well, I'm slowly making my way here. You know, you start sanding all this stuff here, what you'll find is if you just go really light with your sandpaper, things go better. Because when you got a piece of sandpaper and you sit there and you rub it really hard, it just gums it all up and you get nowhere with it. Seems like if you just got a real nice light touch, let the sandpaper do the work. And it actually, it's not that bad. But I'm not going to say that this is exciting or anything like that by any means. Let your mind wander when you're sanding this stuff up. That's okay. As long as they're good thoughts. Trying to use something fairly flat here, you know, where it's fairly large, and so I just kind of use the end of the board as much as I can. It just keeps it a little bit flatter. If I come in here with the palm sander, you know, it's going to give her one of these. So it is worth, well, I guess it all depends on what kind of a job you want. you know, I want this to turn out fairly nice, so a little extra work for the block is well worth the effort. Of course, you know, down in here, this is just all 320. I didn't hit this with 220 at all because I don't want to sand this twice. Got all the tough stuff done. Looks pretty good. I am happy. Well, a couple of spots guys got a scuff cloth yet, but when you're onto the flats, life goes pretty easy. We're done with sanding. Now all that's left is just a few pinholes. And this is done. Man, I tell you what, this feels good, having this done. Because that's a lot of work. But all that work's going to pay off, I'm sure. I hope so. So we're going to tuck this away. We're not spraying this right away. Next thing on the go, fenders. I'm going to spray those first, and then this will be the last thing that I spray. But that's all right. It can sit for a little while. Kind of tired of working on it anyway. So we'll catch up to you when we get spraying. I'm just working on this. This is the last piece of the puzzle. Actually, to be honest with you, I didn't even know it existed. Kevin says, hey, you got to paint that piece that goes on top of the grill. So this is it. So now I got to do like a quick prep on it. But it's in really good shape. You know, it needs to be straightened out a little bit here and there. And I have one little ding here. I'm going to sand it down. Make sure there's no other little tiny dents. These things, you know, they do get abused a little bit because they're, you know, if something ever gets hit in the front grill, or if you're just doing some mechanicking and you drop something, you know, that's where it's going to land. But it's not too bad. We're working outside today because I don't want to get any dust on the inside of the shop because I just finished painting the fenders, and we've got a little bit of sanding to do on the tailgate, just to do the you know, the pinholes, and then when I get that all prepped up, it'll get hung up, and then scramble a little bit, get this thing done. Maybe tomorrow we start throwing some paint on. I don't know, we'll see what happens. Sanding it revealed a couple little things, but it was not too bad. Mainly we had this one little dent right here. Well, I guess it got hit. So once that's straightened out, we just a little filler. I'm I'm kind of glad. It would be nice if we didn't have to do any work, of course, but it's just not the way that the world works. Not mine, anyway. Bit of a high spot. That's getting a little bit over the top, but side looks like, or the passenger side.
Am I too straight? Turn it like that. You're good there.
Okay. Well, the thing is, if you drop it down, it's going to land on the tires.
How far do I got?
You got, well, you have about 10 inches.
Okay, because you're cockeyed here, so...
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it an etch prime first, because I'm not really too sure that I trust, you know, just throwing down this. I know it's a good quality primer and all, but if I can throw a little bit of etch prime down first, then I know it's going to stick. Just looking after the pinholes, and then we got to get this thing into the shop and get all the caulking done. Sure is nice working outside like this, but it is a beautiful day. I had to kind of move under the shop door. It was starting to rain a little bit. Okay, so one of the things we got to do for sure is this guy right here. And that's probably going to take two coats, so we got to make sure we get that one done today. And on the back, we for sure have to do that too. All the way along here and along here. Got a band-aid on my seam sealant finger, so I'm gonna have to use my left hand now. And one more time. Get rid of any edges. These ones are a little easier. Just got to remember not to put too much on. Just the right amount. It's looking pretty good. Next day, just a little thinner on my rag. You can see how it just cleans that residual stuff right up. You can see it's just maybe a little bit over the edge on that side there. You can manipulate this stuff. Use a good rag so you don't get any lint. It's easier than a guy thinks, but it's harder than a guy thinks. You figure, you know, like just coming in and throwing down some seam cedar would be the easiest thing in the world. I don't know, I've tried a lot of things to come up with this little method that's working really good for me now. I think we're ready to go. Let's get a little bit of wax and grease, tack this tailgate down. Put some paint on her. The epoxy primer is all dry. It's the next morning. We just got to give it a little bit of a light sand with the 1200 grit. And I know I'm not going to get, you know, uber perfect in here or anything like that. It's just, you know, if I see something, I'll sand it out. But for the most part, I just want to give, you know, the flats and some of this stuff a little bit of a scuff, and that'll be it. Not on the inside. You know, like it looks pretty good. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'll just run my hand along, and if I feel a piece of dust, then I'll sand it off. Boy, that's exciting. I don't know what I'm gonna do when this job's all done. Don't worry, there's lots. We got a pretty nice spray on this, in a sense that there's almost no dust. I thought, you know, when you spray this, you know, you always get something if there's an open cavity for some reason. I'll just do a quick wipe down with some wax and grease. I've got to wet the floor down yet. Tack her off, and then we're ready to start spraying. Floor's all wetted down. I'm ready to start spraying. Sorry, you gotta go outside. Catch up to you in a bit. Well, the tailgate looks brand new. And I'm really happy the way it turned out. You know, it's always a struggle painting in here because, you know, dust and this and that, but we almost got zero dust on this. no bugs, and like in the whole paint job, no bugs. So I'm really, really happy the way that worked out. But yeah, I couldn't be happier the way this Ford's turned out, but we still got lots of work to do. We still got to put this thing together. But we'll get her done, and I'll throw out another video as we're moving through. You know, we got some interior, we got to put all this stuff together. And so I'm hoping that in the next month, you know, we got other projects on the go, Kevin's got other projects on the go, but it'll get done. So until then, thanks for watching, stay tuned.